Today we're diving into a really cool tool called Kanso AI. And its promise? It's pretty simple, but it's also incredibly powerful. It can take any goal you have, no matter how big or small, and just turn it into a detailed, actionable project plan.
You know that feeling, right? We've all been there. You have this amazing idea, maybe it's launching a new business, planning a big event, or even just finally getting that certification you've been putting off. But that first step, it feels like you're standing at the bottom of a mountain, just staring up. And honestly, that overwhelming feeling can be the thing that stops us before we even begin.
Well, that's exactly the problem Kanso AI was built to solve. The entire philosophy is right there in the name. Kanso is actually a Japanese design principle, and it's all about simplicity and getting rid of clutter. So the whole idea here is to take the tangled mess of project planning and make it simple, streamlined, and maybe even a little bit elegant. So how in the world do they pull that off? Well, the goal is to make the entire experience feel effortless. It takes the heavy lifting of figuring out the structure, the timelines, the scheduling, and it just takes it completely off your plate.
For you, the user, the whole thing couldn't be simpler. You just describe what you want to do. You can be brief, you can be super detailed, it doesn't matter. You provide that one single input, and that's what kicks off this incredibly complex process behind the scenes to build out the entire plan for you.
So what is this engine working behind that simple text box? Well, the best way to think about it isn't as just one single AI. It's more like a highly specialized team of AI agents, and they're all working together, collaborating on your goal. The tech behind this is what's known as a multi-agent system. And for Kanso AI, this team has 7 distinct AI players. You've got an analyst, a researcher, an architect, an estimator, and, this is key, 3 different reviewer agents, all working together to build your plan and then make sure it's actually good.
And here's how that team works, kind of like an assembly line. First, the analyst agent jumps in to make sure it understands your goal. Then it passes it to the architect, who designs the entire structure, all the phases, the individual tasks, what depends on what. After that, the estimator comes in and figures out how long it's all going to take, and it even smartly adds extra time for the really tricky parts. And all along the way, those 3 reviewer agents are acting as quality control, constantly checking the plan's logic and making sure nothing was missed.
The cool part is, you're not just waiting in the dark while all this happens. You actually get to see these real-time status updates. You can literally watch as the analyst figures out what's needed and then hands it off to the architect, who starts building out the structure. It gives you total transparency into how your plan is being created. And then, this is what you get. A complete, interactive Gantt chart. It's kind of wild. From just a few sentences you typed in, the system generates this entire plan that shows all the phases, every single task, how long they'll take, and most importantly, how they all connect to each other. It's a seriously sophisticated project plan, and it's generated in just a few minutes.
But what's really fascinating here is that the first draft isn't the final say. Remember, the plan has already been checked by its own internal team of AI reviewers. So now it's your turn to jump in, interact with it, and tweak it to perfection.
Okay, let's look at a real example to see how this works. So, a user asks for a study plan to get an AWS certification. The AI crunches the numbers and spits out this detailed plan, estimating it's going to take about 141 hours total. But what if the user thinks, I need a little more time on that first part? This is where the project manager agent steps in. And you don't have to learn some complicated software or find the right button to click. You just chat with it. You use plain English. In this case, the user just types, "Can you add 1 more hour to the first task in this chart, please?" And just look at this. It's perfect. On the left, you see the original plan at 141 hours, and on the right, the updated one, now at 142 hours. The AI project manager understood the request, it found the right task, it added the hour, and it even recalculated the project's total duration. This is proof that the AI doesn't just generate a plan, it actually understands it and can modify it accurately. Okay, so this brings up a really important question, right? How can we trust that the AI is consistently creating high-quality plans? This gets to the heart of the black box problem we talk about so much with AI. While Kanso AI tackles this problem head-on by being obsessed with observability. To do this, the system uses a platform called Comet OPIC. You can think of it as a window into the AI's brain. It lets the developers trace every single decision each agent makes, run experiments, and even automatically fine-tune the agents to make them better over time. And this isn't just some abstract idea. They run actual experiments to measure the quality, and this slide shows you the hard data. I mean, look at these scores.
a perfect 100% on making sure the plan's structure is complete, nearly 98% on how relevant the answer is. So this isn't just them saying their plans are good, it's a measured, validated, and proven result.
Now let's be real. A great plan is pretty useless if it just lives inside an app somewhere. The final and maybe most important step is making this plan a real part of your life. And this is where Kanso AI really closes the loop.
With just a single click, you can export the entire project plans straight to your personal calendar, whether you use Google, Outlook, or Apple Calendar. Every single task becomes a calendar event, automatically blocking out the time you need to actually get the work done.
And just like that, the journey is complete. We went from a simple one-line idea to a fully detailed dependency-aware Gantt chart, and then finally into a concrete schedule that's woven right into your daily life, all ready for you to start executing. And that really leaves us with a powerful question to think about. When you remove almost all the friction between having a goal and having a plan, what does that unlock for us? If an AI can give us the roadmap for pretty much any ambition we have, just imagine what we'll be able to achieve next.